Doing it live. There we go. And we're live playing this in.
Go for it.
Welcome to Earl and the Idiot, the show that gives you the answers you need to take your business to the next level. With Earl Flormata, one of Vancouver's most sought-after business and marketing consultants, author of Business Engine Optimization, consultant to over 60 successful businesses, an all-around evil marketing genius with a combined total of more than $70 million worth of sales to his credit. And some idiot. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
I find when I do that sneer, I look like a Disney cartoon villain,
A little bit. Yeah, there you go.
right? Like a Muppet. Pretty sure there's a Muppet that looks exactly like that. I gotta figure out which one it is. It's a little bit like, there's that huge dude. I forget what his name is. He's hairy and he's like really, really giant. You know what I'm
I know
talking
what you're
about?
talking about. I don't know his name though.
I'm gonna find
Yeah.
out. It's important
I don't know
information
his
to our
name. I know what you're
viewers.
talking about. So anyway,
Yeah, yeah. It's important our viewers know the name.
that we name and label the Muppets properly.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you don't do that, how are you supposed to move forward?
It's the end of the world.
Sweetums.
Sweetums. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah, that is the name.
Right? It's not Sweetums. Other Sweetums.
There you go.
I
All
gotta
right.
put
Well,
them up
that'll
as
get
my
Muppets
background.
naming out of the way. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I went to see the Jason Bonham Led Zeppelin experience last night.
Oh, cool. How was
If you're
that?
familiar. It was amazing. These guys are unbelievably talented.
That's awesome.
Uh,
I'm taking my wife to one of those candlelight concert things where they have like a bunch of stringed instruments just playing whatever. So I think one of the experiences is the Ghibli experience where they just play a bunch of songs from Studio Ghibli. Another one is
oh, that's
Taylor Swift.
perfect.
They just play a bunch of Taylor Swift songs, but it sounds fancy because it's classical music style. So it's
Yeah, yeah.
pretty interesting. I want to learn Gangster's Paradise on piano just because it sounds cool. And you're always like, that sounds familiar until you
Yeah,
realize
what
it's
is
Gangster's
that?
Paradise. And you're like, hell? But it sounds so classical and fancy until it clicks in what it is. So I played it on Spotify the other day for my sister. I'm like, hey, what is this song? I hit play, and she's like, it sounds so familiar. It takes a while to kick in, right? And so I want to learn a bunch of like gangster rap songs, but on classical piano style, just to confuse people.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That's one of those things you could sit down in a restaurant and start playing it or whatever, and it's like, oh, it's so pretty. And meanwhile, it's like
Coolio.
the lyrics are about killing people and
Yeah,
doing drugs and
that's right.
beautiful.
So
Yeah, the concert was good fun. A lot of drunk idiots, a lot of aging rock. Well, very not aging, but aged rockers
there you
who
go.
I feel like who I feel like either never matured at all or are generally very staid, upstanding members of society who are like, I'm gonna let loose like I did when I was a teenager, and they were so drunk and like falling all over each other and slapping the chairs and air drumming. It was pretty wild. There was this one guy who had a seat down front, but he kept walking around. It was at the
Yeah,
Orpheum. He just kept walking around with like a lighter and like trying to encourage people to like stand up, and it was pretty nuts.
didn't happen. So
Yeah, I have a theory. I'm gonna get this theory out on the air, so there's a record of it. But as I was watching this, I realized that fast forward 100 years from now, a couple hundred years from now,
yeah.
Led Zeppelin is going to be to rock and roll what Shakespeare is to plays.
Hmm.
Where like nobody else, it was like the pinnacle. Nobody else can do it any better. So people are just going to continue. Like people keep putting on Shakespeare's plays. We're 400 years on, and
Right.
people still every year are putting on a festival of Shakespeare's plays, and people reinterpret them and do different versions of it. So Led Zeppelin's music will be continue to be covered by these kind of niche rock and roll enthusiasts. So there's
Cool.
of the bygone era. Just check back with me in 400 years and you'll see I'm right.
How long has it been since Elvis? And there's still Elvis impersonators, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
the Beatles, and there's people still who still cover the Beatles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, Led Zeppelin is, the guys aren't all gone, but they're close.
right, right.
And obviously it's still popular. But I think being a Led Zeppelin band is going to be a kind of they'd be equivalent of like barbershop quartets kind of thing, like the throwback
Second Led Zeppelin.
throwback
That'll be a hell of a thing. So
barbershop Led Zeppelin. I can write that down.
there you go. .com
But
trademark.
barbershop Led Zeppelin.com. Furiously scribbles.
So your background, it's a redo.
It's a redo, yeah. Where our first reuse of the background. This is the AI's. I can't even remember. I just put in something really generic, social media or something. Just something super
Really
generic.
likes
And
Instagram apparently because I there
yeah,
twice.
we got two Instagrams. Oh, where's my hand? Two
Yeah,
Instagrams, and then I like this guy over here. This kind of no face
looks like a
NPC.
yeah, looks like a tooth almost. It's weird.
Yeah. Are you seeing the Facebook logo? Is that the right way around for you, or is it backwards for
Yeah,
me? Because I'm
it's the
near.
right way around
It's the right
for
way
me.
around. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so that's I just had social media and I was like, okay. And it like this oil painting background, it chose
I
on its
I
own. I had to
like
do
it.
this.
I like the
It's
oil.
really nice.
So there
It's
you
super
go.
aesthetic. So how's your week been? Your week usually appertains more to business than my week does.
Same old, same old. I started promoting the Tuesday events, so I think there were like 20 RSVPs now. So it's
Nice.
starting to pile in there, and we've taken all of the pre-recorded events from before, and we're packaging up into a course, and that'll be launched soon. I shot a video sales letter for all that, so that's coming up just around the corner here. So that'll be fun. And
Nice.
every time somebody buys one of the replays from the live events, we plant a
Yeah.
tree. So there you go. Save the world, plant a tree, save a squirrel.
Nice. That's awesome. Oh, speaking of events, my coffee event is this weekend. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Good luck.
Hmm. Thanks.
You were in the
Yeah.
news and everything. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was good. And I actually had someone who messaged in and was like, I want to buy some of this coffee. What are my options? And I go to the guy and I say, hey, what are the options to tell this guy? Oh, just tell him to come over here and I'll talk to him. I
Or
was like,
throw them out of the
he's in,
restaurant. Either way,
yeah.
whatever happens first.
I was like, he's in Coquitlam. Will you ship it out there? No shipping.
No ship for you.
No ship. Yeah. No ship for you. This guy. I don't know. Anyway,
There you go.
we've talked enough about him. I'll let you know how it goes.
So back to the background. I gave you like I don't know 5 questions people asked me over the week, and you're like, no,
Yeah.
the first one right now,
The first
the
one.
first one.
Yeah,
So
exactly. One of my clients right now is trying to up their organic and social game rather than just paying more and more and more for pay per click. So I thought this would be appropriate.
fair enough.
But you had someone ask you this question?
I literally had like 4 people ask me this question, and they were asking me
Wow.
how often for which platform and what kind of stuff goes on each platform. And I got a buddy who has more like north of 100,000 followers on every platform, and he kind of explained which one needs what. So I
Hmm.
kind of just showed them, and like I'm not doing too badly myself on LinkedIn. So, but I'm not at 100,000. So I was like, okay, well let's take a page out of this guy's book and pop it out there.
Perfect. Yeah, I always, when you're in marketing, you get the ads for marketing as well. And I always get people saying, stop posting every day. You're screwing up your algorithm or whatever. It's like, so what is the truth? So we asked AI, and then we're going to have you drop your wisdom bombs on us. Oh, you
Well,
change
it's
your
going to
back,
be
change your logo.
it's a real case study data off of real people, off of real accounts who've done this for real. It's not a bunch of theory. It's like these guys actually did it. Like they're north of like, 1 million, 2 million followers. Like this is what it took to get there. I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
cool.
Hmm.
So yeah, I changed the signage. I got my virtual assistants to give me some more options. So now I've got the evil marketing genius background. I've got the BEO background. I've got the business network media background. And yeah, and eventually, once we settle on our own logo, because I know we've been tossing some ideas around, we'll have the podcasts, our own idiot background.
Nice.
And actually, since you're coming over tomorrow to help me with this whole cable situation and some of the background and stuff, there'll be a real background in the back. And I
Oh
legit
yeah.
have the E from Evil Marketing Genius as an LED light that
Oh,
will hang.
you nice.
And we also have this one, the B&M, I'll go fetch it. The B&M one is also real. Like I have the real sign that looks like this
Whoa,
that will stick on the
sweet.
wall once we
Love it.
assemble the other furniture, so that way we're not. Once in a while, I'll be a real background. Once in a while, I'll be the fake background like now. But at least it'll be like a real sign. I just bought. It's not going to be here in time for you to see it, but maybe you'll come over again. Um, I bought a stand for my sword, so it looks like
Hmm.
the thing that the diagram I sent you for what it will look like in the end. So
Right.
yeah, so
Well, stay tuned for that, everybody.
there you go.
All right. Looks like it broke it up into a weird format this week. We'll see how it goes. So here's what we asked the AI overlords, as we do every week. We said, acting as a marketing expert, how often do you have to post on social media to grow an organic following? Please give me 3 tips on organic growth, number of posts, organic growth and number of posts. 1 tip for LinkedIn, 1 tip for Twitter, one for a platform of your choosing. Oh, you let AI select the platform.
Yeah.
Oh. Please give me 2 general tips to avoid doing for social media organic growth. And lastly, give me one red hot tip on the platform of your choosing to grow my business organically in the fastest way and most profitable way possible. Nice. All
How's
right,
that? How's
interesting
that
format
for
today.
prompt engineering?
Yeah, love it. All right, so here's what AI has to say about this, and we'll see what our resident Earl has to say about it. To grow an organic following on social media effectively, consistency and engagement are key. Here's a breakdown of how often to post, not how to often post, but how often to post, with specific and general tips for organic growth across different platforms. Frequency of posting. For LinkedIn, it says post 1 to 2 times per week. LinkedIn favors quality over quantity with a focus on professional content that adds value to your network. Yeah, is this what you find? You post
I'll
like
link
37 times a day, don't you?
on LinkedIn. Actually, I'm not following best practices just because I
Hmm.
like a lot of stuff. But on LinkedIn, you're supposed to post not 1 to 2 times per week, but you're supposed to do one time daily. One time daily is for optimal growth. So if you're not at like, let's just these are thousands, a round number. If you're not at 1,000 followers yet, you need to get out there. So you need to post one time per day to get it out there. So I disagree with the AI on this one. And this comes from actually 3 big LinkedIn influencers who say that to break past the rest, it's got to go one day,
One a day.
one a day.
Okay. Just looking here. So, and so now as far as the content goes, focus on professional content that adds value to your network. That sounds right.
That is correct. So you need to do, professional content that adds value. It's more educational than salesy, especially on
Hmm.
LinkedIn of all
Right.
places, because it's all business owners, so they want to learn stuff. Every time they log into LinkedIn for news, they want to learn something, right? They don't want to be necessarily entertained the entire time. So it's got to be somewhere, between education and entertainment. It's not edutainment, it's more closer to education on the scale of that. So it's not quite, just pure entertainment. Dancing on LinkedIn like TikTok doesn't get you as far, right? So
Britney Spears won't be doing that well with her knife dances on Instagram on LinkedIn.
so LinkedIn, yeah, definitely. There you go.
All right. And so for Twitter, post at least 1 to 2 times a day. Twitter's fast-paced environment means your tweets have a shorter lifespan, so frequent posting can help maintain visibility.
Agree on that one
Agreed? Okay.
100%. 2 times a day, but they got to be spaced out and they got to be consistent. So if you're always doing it at, say, for example, 9 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, make sure it's always 9 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the afternoon over and over and over again so that Twitter starts to pick up on it.
Hmm. So this is, like you say, this is tried and tested data, like with we got
Tried and tested
charts and stuff to
data.
back it up, or
Yeah, there's some they actually tested it. So the number of people who are viewing their stuff versus the number of people engaging, liking, commenting, et cetera, et cetera. the sweet spot was two a day. They tried one a day, but because you get buried on Twitter, it's just so quick. You don't get as much, you don't get seen as much.
Mhm.
So, but they ask for twice a day, definitely on Twitter, same time every single time. And they've tested more. They've tried tweeting like 10 times a day, and
Mhm.
10 times apparently is overkill. It's too many. Unless you're in the crypto niche where they really, really like it when you tweet a lot. So in the crypto niche, they expect like a bajillion tweets a day. That's just expected of the territory. So it's I guess niche dependent.
Okay.
But for the vast majority, it's twice a day is.
All right. And is there any guidelines as far as what should be posted on Twitter, or it's
Oh,
kind of
I
a
think that's the
lawless
next.
wasteland over there?
I think that's the next part. It actually gave us
Oh,
frequencies and then what to actually post.
oh,
So
I got you. Okay, cool. Yeah, the
talk
format
about
was
that
all different,
next
throwing me
week.
off.
Yeah, no
Great.
worries.
My pacing is all off now. All right. So frequency, Instagram, post on your feed 3 to 4 times per week. It seems low. And use stories daily. Ah, there you go. Instagram users engage more with visual and regularly updated content.
So I have conflicting data from two different sources, but both sources are at ridiculous rates of conversion, ridiculous rates of subscription, and ridiculous follower counts. So
Okay.
I'm not sure which one's right. I'm presuming it's both of them because they're both at ridiculous rates.
Uh, Yeah.
Um, One of them said you have to use 5 stories a day. Five. And I thought that's a lot. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know if I can come up with 5 stories a day on Instagram, but that's what it takes. And they have to be visual, like interesting to look at because that's what Instagram is. If you're not highly visual on Instagram, you're scrolling through there, it's not going to stop you, right?
Yeah.
So 5 is a lot. That's what I thought. Another person just said daily on Insta, but you want to do both a post and a story, and they were telling me that you want to wait until the story has been played out. And so they're telling me that you have to give it a little bit for the story to run its course so that all the viewers get to see it. And then once all the viewers get to see it, you post another one, and then the meta gods and algorithms decide to grant you with more viewership. So that's what they're telling
Hmm.
me. Wait till your stories play out and then post another story so they have something else to promote. The other
So you
guy
don't
said,
stack
oh,
it. You don't stack a dozen stories on top of each other.
the other guy says do 5 a day. And I'm like, well, they're both north of a million. I'm like, well,
Hmm.
guess they're both right.
Yeah.
So there you go. So pick your poison. If you have enough content that you can do 5 freaking stories a day, I guess that would crush everybody. I don't have enough content to do 5. I can do like one. And
Right.
even one, I could
So,
do it for like 90 days and then probably keel over. So
so the question probably a lot of people ask is it possible to post too much?
yes, it is possible to post too much. I've been told I post too much on LinkedIn. So, and I know I post too much on Facebook for sure. But where will you get your memes from? So yeah, this like I get irritated sometimes with how much I post because I try to look back at one of the memes I posted and I have to
Yeah.
scroll like 30 pages. I'm like, what the hell's that damn thing? I want to show my friend. So I scroll, 30 pages, find them, tag them, and then never find it ever again. So there you go. So yes, you can post too much. If you do post too much, the algo counts you as spam
Oh,
and you
yeah.
don't get as much reach. So when I grow up and turn my Facebook into not my meme dumping ground,
Mhm.
I'll probably start storing all the memes in Facebook and just do a daily dump and just throw them all in one shot, as opposed to dumping them across time whenever I see one and chuckle, right? So because right now what I do is in between meetings, if I'm just waiting for food or waiting for a coffee, I will hop onto Insta, LinkedIn, or Facebook, find something hilarious, and then reshare it because that's what I do. But apparently that's too many. So don't do 70 posts a day. That's too much.
I
But
know what I personally noticed with yours is that you don't necessarily get a ton of likes on them when you share your memes,
no.
but everybody talks about how much they enjoy all the memes you share. So you're getting
Yeah.
like real life engagement versus Facebook engagement.
Well, the thing is, at the end of the day, is it making you money, right? And I
Hmm.
make money from Facebook. I make money from LinkedIn. I make money from Instagram. So as long as you're happy with your current level of income, then continue the pattern. I'm not. I would like to grow and make more. So
Hmm.
I'm actually gonna follow the advice from my two friends and just split test and see which one actually is the one that makes it go.
Fair enough. Yeah, I personally, I'm not making money on Facebook. I just post my own thoughts and memes I like on there. So I consider mine to be carefully curated, that only solid gold, only my most solid gold, stupid ideas
Excellent.
get on there. But then I just complain that people don't understand me. Nobody gets me.
You post good thinky memes sometimes. It takes me a second, I'm like, I don't get it. Oh, I get it. And then it's funnier. So
Yeah, exactly. It's very someone's really got to make the grade to get posted on my Facebook. Um, YouTube is not on here. How often should you post on YouTube? Do you have that data?
on YouTube, it depends because YouTube is actually two platforms now. So
What?
YouTube is two platforms. YouTube has regular YouTube, which is long
Hmm.
form video,
Yeah,
and it actually prefers quality over quantity
yeah,
on YouTube. But then on the opposite side of YouTube, which is YouTube Shorts, it is very similar to TikTok and Insta because that's who YouTube Shorts is competing against,
right.
right? So on those ones, it wants you to post more. So on YouTube Shorts, daily is what the recommended average is now.
Once
On,
a day.
well, yeah, once a day. But on regular YouTube, they want you to put effort into your posts. So,
Oh, I'm out then.
so like for example, our show, right? We put some effort. You change the background. I look up stuff for 5 minutes, and then we yak for an hour. So there's some meat to the content here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so this counts as quote unquote effort. We just have to actually change all the descriptions because we haven't done that ever before. So it's always the
Mm-hmm.
same description: Earl an idiot, hashtag business, hashtag marketing, hashtag growth, or something like that, and just post the same thing every single time. So I got to go back, rejig them all, actually name and label all the episodes. We have to decide once and for all which one is actually the real episode one and which one are the lost chronicles that we shall never speak of. Because and so yeah, so there we
Well,
go.
we'll include the lost episodes on our DVD release.
Yeah, there you go. On
And
the
we'll
eight,
do
you could buy
we'll
the
do what's that?
on the 8 track, you could get the special release.
Yeah, we'll do director commentary.
Yeah.
And we'll watch, yeah, actually, when we were filming this episode, it was snowing outside, and so some of the equipment had to be moved. It was
And,
really
and
exciting
Dan
stuff.
was in this truck one time, and one time we did it in the mall, kind of on a picnic table. That didn't work out so well because it was really loud. And
Yeah, right. The one time I did that show, well, when I was moving and all my boxes were, I was sitting on the floor,
I
all the
remember that.
boxes packed behind me. Oh my God, that was
There you
great.
go.
All right, so for the longer form YouTube contents, once a week, what do
Uh,
we?
it's quantity over quality. So, for example, if you look at like the most prolific YouTuber, Mr. Beast, right?
Yeah,
You can see that he's actually reduced his postings down to like once every other week. Sometimes it's once a month for a little bit
right.
because he put so much production into it. Like he redid all of that entire crazy Korean game show, right? Which
Yeah,
you have to build a giant set and a lot of people, and here's 10,000 people running around. I'm like, oh my God. So he doesn't post as often, but because he posts such ridiculous stuff, and everybody's always expecting like the world on this guy, like everything he posts gets 100 million views just off the hop, right? So
yeah.
it depends, right? So put more effort into the long form content is what it's saying, and then short form content daily.
All right, got it.
Oh, I do
So
have
now
I
you
have a trick for that.
have
Um,
what?
for YouTube, if you wanna really like just kill it on YouTube, here's the secret trick. So this is your bonus hack
All
bonus
right.
hack. So bonus hack.
Bonus hack of the week.
Don't actually optimize for YouTube search. I know that sounds weird because YouTube is a search engine. Like,
You explain yourself right now, mister.
don't always optimize for search, optimize for binge. And
Hmm.
so, you ever fall down the YouTube rabbit hole and like 3 hours later you look up and you go, crap, what the hell did I do all day?
Yeah.
Right? And you just watch YouTube. If you can get to the binge-worthy side of the equation. So after a video plays, if you can be the recommended video right after that video, if you can optimize to be that next piece, that's the money because then you get recommended. So as opposed to people having to search for you, YouTube just serves you up on a silver platter and goes, "Hey, watch this." And so that is an example. So there's a YouTube channel called Piano Guys. I don't know if you've seen the Piano Guys.
Mm.
Um, the piano guys used to want to sell pianos on the internet. And what happened was they also wanted to make really cool videos. So they took a piano and like they dropped it in like, the Arctic and they played piano there. And then the one time they did the piano in the Great Wall of China and they played piano there. And they made these epic like piano and violin or cello um, shots. And the hilarious thing is they ended up making more money making the videos and going on concert tours than they did selling pianos. And they just
Oh my God.
stopped selling pianos and started selling videos essentially. And now, like if they were to come into town, I would buy their ticket immediately. So yeah. So that's another trick where instead of just trying to get people to search for you, because no one knew to search for piano guys, but what happened was they started becoming the people the thing that the algorithm referred to. Oh, if you like piano, you're gonna love this. Watch this. We dropped the piano on the Great Wall of China and it went ham,
Hmm.
right? And so, yeah, that's the kind of interesting maneuver you can do because if you can get people into that rabbit hole of YouTube and then just watch all your crap, ta-da, right? Free traffic.
Nice. Okay. So here we go. And now we're going on to this kind of ties into what you just said. Platform specific tips for organic growth. So the
Yes.
LinkedIn tip, share insightful articles, industry news, and professional achievements. Engage with comments on each post to foster community and drive more visibility through interactions.
So absolutely yes. Insightful articles, yes. Industry news, also yes, because that's what people are on LinkedIn for
Hmm.
news and learning stuff. Professional achievements, they don't happen as often, so it's nice when you have them. Like if you've got,
Hmm.
I'm upgraded to vice president, super manager man now. So
Hmm.
if you do that, that's really cool. And then engaging with comments. So Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, talked about this model that he calls the buck 80 method. And what he does is he drops his 2 cents on 10 different hashtags on 9 different conversations. So if you do the math, 10 conversations times 9 hashtags is 90 conversations. 2 cents is a buck 80. So he calls it the buck 80 method.
Hmm.
And if you do that, people start to read your comments and then they look at your profile and then they connect with you and then they follow you. That's just the way it works. So if
Hmm.
you do that on a regular basis, absolutely. So commenting and liking other people's stuff, yes, absolutely. LinkedIn really, really likes longer form posts. So not a really short post, but a longer form post. LinkedIn really,
Hmm.
really likes images lately, especially like infographic type stuff where you're showing, data across
Oh, yeah.
something interesting, but it's pretty to look at. And it really, really, really likes carousels. So
Oh,
when you do like a
interesting.
3 or 4 part info piece, like here are 4 things to make your email awesome, right? As the first piece, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then for more tips, follow me here, right?
Hmm.
It really, really likes carousels. So for whatever reason, carousels absolutely crush it. Don't overdo them, but like once a week, do a carousel, your LinkedIn account just goes boom, and it just shares and grows like crazy.
So here's maybe a good idiot question. When we talk about posting once per day, does that have to be self-generated content per day, or can you be sharing someone else's post, or does that count towards
No,
your total? Or
it's got to be self-generated. I actually have my own data points now because I've been pushing LinkedIn pretty hard the last month or so.
Hmm.
And all of my shared stuff gets 1/10 of the view of my actual written stuff. So when I write something and post it, and I share stuff and post it, um, it was a big difference. So if I write it myself and put it on a thousand views, 1,000 plus, I get 100 plus comments, blah, 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 blah. If I share some other people's stuff, I get 1/10 of the engagement.
Hmm.
That's what I've seen. So
All right.
sharing is
But
not enough.
can you create your own and then also share a couple that day? Like it doesn't matter, doesn't affect your your created post if you share a couple of other people's posts during the day
It
that
doesn't
you find
hurt it.
interesting?
Just don't go overboard like me. Like I post too often. So,
Hmm.
some days I just go ham and I find 17 cool things on the internet and dump them all in the same day. So don't do that.
Yeah.
Wasn't meant for that. Plus the way that the UX UI works on LinkedIn, it's kind of a pain in the ass to find your own posts. So if you post too often, it's just as bad as Facebook. You scroll until you can't find it, and then it resets the scroll and blows everything up.
Hmm.
So one post, one solid post a day is awesome. Maybe one or two shares would be plenty, and then just don't go ham. LinkedIn actually doesn't like video as much, I've seen.
Hmm.
So when you attach video to something, it shows it less.
Maybe it's
So
because people are browsing it at work, so they can't watch videos.
yeah, and that's basically it. So LinkedIn loves those sliders. It really likes long form post. It really likes images, specifically infographic style images and that sort of thing. And funny enough, one of the strongest posts I've ever posted was a shared post of all things. And it was just a guy holding up a whiteboard with the thing he wanted to say on it. And all the text was, it was kind of congruent to what the whiteboard said. So I forget what the quote was, but it was just some quote on the whiteboard. And then his little rant was about the quote that was on the whiteboard. And that did something like 8 to 10,000 views for me. I'm like, holy crap, when my average is
Wow.
like one or two.
Hmm.
So I actually specifically bought a whiteboard just so the guy holding the whiteboard could be me. So
Hmm.
so now I'm gonna replicate that, and I'm gonna use that because that's what my audience said that they enjoy. So follow the data, do what the data says. If that's what they want, give them more.
Nice.
So
All right. So what is the Twitter tip? Twitter tip is utilize hashtags. Oh my God. Utilize hashtags strategically.
it's hard to
I'm
say.
a I'm a thistle sifter. I have sifted thistles and unsifted thistles, and I use hashtags strategically to reach beyond your current followers and tap into relevant conversations and trending topics.
Agreed. I think hashtags were the biggest thing on Twitter of all the different platforms. I've noticed that I actually don't use hashtag searching on other platforms as much as I do on Twitter
Mhm.
or X. I can't bring myself to call it X.
It's yeah.
So
Neither
so
neither can AI apparently.
yeah. So there you go. So anyway, so yeah, so hashtags on Twitter is the most powerful because people do actually sort stuff by hashtag on Twitter. So absolutely yes.
All right.
Agreed. Good job, AI.
Yeah, and then you get the eyeballs of people who aren't your followers, but they're interested in that hashtag.
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right. What do we have to say for an Instagram tip? We're going to pick up the pace a little bit here. Use high quality images and videos, engage with followers through interactive features like polls and questions and stories to boost engagement. Love a good poll.
I didn't know you could poll on Insta, but I would try
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
would I would give it a shot.
Love
Insta
a
is
good
all about
confirmation bias.
absolutely, yeah, but Insta is all about images and video, right? If you don't have images and video that really strike home and hit hard, ain't no one stopping scrolling for you because
Hmm.
everybody else is using, images and videos, right? So Insta is one of the harder platforms to break into because of the amount of video. Same with TikTok. It's the harder platform to break into. Apparently, unless you're a bird, my damn bird has 1,000
Hmm.
followers on friggin' TikTok already. So, and like 80,000 views. I'm like, holy crap, who wants to, really that many people want to watch a bird do dumb shit on the internet? But yeah,
Yes.
80,000 of the bird just kicking things and screaming and ripping things apart. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's what the internet has suggested. So Instagram tip, yes, images, video, absolutely. And I didn't know you could do polls, so I'm gonna go try that. That'd be
There
fun.
you go. Your first poll should be, should I do more polls on Instagram?
Yes, yes, absolutely. If I don't get banned from the internet, I convinced this one old guy once that if you Google, you break the internet, and he believed me. So
Hmm.
it causes an
You
infinite.
know,
All computers catch on fire. Don't do that.
there you go. Yeah, the whole thing goes crashing down. You know, when birds kick and scream things and kick things over, it's they become internet darlings. When I do it, it's an episode.
Right, right. Yeah, there you
All
go.
right. General tips to avoid. What are some don'ts? Don't over promote. I always tell people this. Constantly selling products or services can turn off your audience. Focus on creating valuable content that benefits your followers with promotional content sprinkled sparingly. Sprinkle sparingly engagement hashtags. What is it? Use hashtags strategically and sprinkle sparingly your promotional materials.
Yeah. So the pattern to follow is the same as the pattern for email, and it's
Hmm.
content, content, pitch, content. So every time you use a pitch, you use up some of your quote unquote social credit with your viewers. Because every time you sell something, it reduces the level of your relationship. Because they're like, oh God, he's selling me things, or he's selling me
Yeah.
stuff, right? So you have to interdisperse that with good feelings, good vibes. You got to put money in the bank before you make a withdrawal. So, you know, like I said, content, content, pitch, content. Three parts content to one part pitch is the minimum, right? It's better if you do more content, but and then one pitch, and the pitch has got to be more solution oriented. So it's got to be problem solution pair, saying, hey, you have this problem, here's a solution for it, come check this out. And that way it's not just a direct, hey, buy my stuff, right? Because if it's just, hey, buy
Mhm.
my stuff, then everybody hates you. People start unfollowing you, right?
Right.
It's especially true. I know they don't have it on this thing, but for Reddit, especially on Reddit, don't try to sell stuff, directly. Like, have it as an indirect. Hey, here's a couple different solutions I found. Solution one, solution two, the thing you're selling, solution four, right? So,
Hmm.
and if you hide it in that kind of architecture, it's more welcomed on the platform versus a direct shill of whatever it is that you sell.
Yeah. And I see that all the time. Like you're trying to solve some problem of like, oh, increase my email, my daily sending limit or whatever. And they're like, here's 4 ways to do it. And way number 3 is use our plugin. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay. By the time I get there, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll use your plugin. You know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah, but
they're
you've
answering
given
my
me some
question first.
value. You've given me
Yeah.
some value in between, and it wasn't just a shill of, hey, buy my crap. So
Mhm.
there you go.
All right. What's number 2 for avoidance? Avoid ignoring engagement. That's a weird way to phrase it. AI. Failing to respond to comments and messages can harm your relationships with your audience. Interaction not only builds relationships, but also signals to social media algorithms that your content is engaging, which can increase your organic reach.
Absolutely. But there is, and I don't know if it's been tested or not, but it's been memed to death. Don't like your own post until later. Don't
Huh.
like your post until later. So there's this hilarious picture of a lion licking itself.
Okay.
This is what you look like when you like your own post.
Yeah.
And yeah, don't like your post right away. Have other people like it. I mean, it's okay to like your post later, right? It's like after 25 people have liked your post, yeah, feel free to like your own post. But don't be the only like on your post that looks sad, right? Don't ask your mother to
Yeah.
like your own post, because then if it's only you and your mother who like your own post, it's still sad. Get other people to engage first. And it's a crazy thing. You double your comments on a post by simply replying to every comment on your post.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't forget to do that, but do that as soon as humanly possible. So if people start to comment on your post, immediately comment back right away, because like it said, it tells the algorithm that, hey, this is interesting and people want to engage with you. So it
Okay. That's
rewards
a
you by
thought. Is, is there any benefit to like, okay, someone comments on your post. If you then wait till the next day and then you comment, doesn't it kind of serve to bump the post back up again?
No,
To
because then
do,
the algorithm doesn't get the kick in. So, because the
uh,
algorithm is looking at number of engagements per hour, and the hours wane over time. So, the first hour you post, if you get a bajillion engagements, the algo goes, hey, this is hot stuff. Let's show more people. If you wait
mhm.
6 days to then reply to crap, it doesn't reboost the post. It tells the algo, hey, no one gives a crap. This guy took 6 days to reply to his own shit,
Mm.
right? So it tells it that you don't care. So yeah, no, you got to reply right away, and you got to get people to respond right away.
All right. And yeah, it's just not leaving your audience hanging, I guess. If they want to talk to you, talk to them.
Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. If people want to talk to you, have the conversation.
Hmm. I had one of my clients, I won't say which one, occasionally elicits negative responses, not so much to them, but like just the subject matter. They're like, yeah, well, the government, blah, 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 blah. I like to respond to those guys and then hide the comment.
Yeah.
So they get an answer back. So, all right. Red hot tip for Instagram. AI's social media of choice is Instagram. Actually, hey, look,
There
my
you go.
AI like
It
doubled up
did
on
it, but
Instagram,
two.
and Chat GPT has chosen Instagram as its AI of choice or its social media of choice. Collaborate with influencers. Ooh. Partnering with influencers who align with your brand can dramatically increase your reach and credibility quickly. Choose influencers whose audiences overlap with your target market for the most effective results. By leveraging their followers, you can accelerate growth and gain significant visibility in a profitable manner. Earl,
So
you probably have lots of tips for engaging with. I know you've got your contest play.
for sure.
You want to dump that one on us again, or?
Yeah, I can totally do that. And actually, it's funny enough that it actually fits in right with this thing. So collaborating with influencers. So the contest play is find influencers in your space, run a contest to give away two of your product, right? And the weird thing is you're going to give one to the influencer so they use it in their video, right?
Mhm.
So there was this one guy who was selling remote controlled skateboards, right? And what he did was he found all the main influencers in the skateboard, skating, longboard channels, and he took the top 10 and he gave them one of their skateboards to try out, play with it. If they wanted to, they could keep it. And because they made so much content with it, it was cheaper to give them the skateboard than it was for them to pay them to make the content. If
Hmm.
that makes sense. And
Right.
then what happened was they gave away one to the influencers following. So they did 10 giveaways to the influencers and then 10 more giveaways to the influencers crowds. So let's just do some simple math here. If the influencers themselves had on average 100,000 followers and there's 10 of them, right? You're giving away 20 skateboards, but you're now tapping into a crowd of 1 million people,
Mhm.
right? And if you got a 1% conversion on that, that's 10,000 skateboards that you would get to sell on the open market. So you gave away 20, you sell 10,000 or whatever at a discount, like 10% or whatever,
Mhm.
and you money rains from the sky and you enjoy life, right? That's just kind of how it works. But when it says collaborate with influencers, the other thing is getting a circle of friends in the space and you comment on their stuff, they comment on your stuff, you react, engage with their stuff, they engage with your stuff. But because you're all in the same category and you're all in the same space and you're all talking about the same subject, your people see that you're collaborating with other people. And then they go, hey, I really like that guy's content as well. Maybe I should follow them. So there you go.
Yeah,
So
because influencers are always looking for content to engage their audience, right?
yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's win-win.
Exactly.
And in the end, everybody gets a remote controlled skateboard.
Then don't we all win if that's the case? I want a remote control skateboard.
Exactly. Sounds like heaven to me. All right, we're closing in here, so we're gonna wrap it up. You want to
Hit the button. Here we
hit
go.
the button? Hack of the week.
Hack of the week. Plus the Muppet sneer. So there you
Oh
go.
yeah, hang on. I downloaded an image. You go ahead. I'll do this.
Okay. So the hack of the week is reuse media. If you can create reusable media and tailor it to the specific platform, you only have to create one good piece. So this podcast, as an example, we can turn into a long form video because it is a long form video. We can chop it for short form videos. We can do articles, we can do audio only podcasts, and we can do still images. And as an example, I just realized that I can turn every single one of our podcasts into a scrolly gallery where
You doing
we
what?
have our question as the first scroll, right? And then the three things that AI says, the two things it says to avoid, the one red hot tip, and then the one hack of the week. So if we just summarized all our crap into these little boxes and then made them scrollable and like that, we could turn every podcast episode we've had to date into one of those things that LinkedIn absolutely loves. So when we have the capital for it, I'm going to hire a VA and I'm going to get them to turn every single one of our podcasts besides the lost 18 episodes. And then we're going to turn them all into these types of things. And it's just going to turn into a blog post and a really cool looking scrolly thing on LinkedIn. And it'll look really cool on Twitter as well, the multi-part thing. So there you go. The format actually lends itself really well. I just thought of this now. I got to write this down. Turn all podcasts into scrolls. So yeah, man, that's gonna be really cool. So and multi-part multi-part Twitter posts. There we go. I learned something on our own freaking podcast. So
There you go. You're teaching yourself good information.
there's a hack. The hack of the hack. Very
Yeah,
meta. So meta.
yeah. Just learn from yourself. Just take your own ideas and just learn
I'm
what your ideas
currently
are.
running
Those are
10
great.
businesses. So it's kind of hilarious. I actually listen to our podcast or I listen to the Tuesday event, but since I'm working on a different business, I go, oh yeah, we didn't do this for business number 7 yet.
So suddenly it takes on new meaning for you.
So yeah, then we'll review it, right? Like nobody can keep 10 businesses in their head straight. So, you're going through, I'm doing this as a stupid challenge just to beat my other mentees. I don't want to beat them once, I want to beat them 10 because I'm cocky. So it's
Mhm.
just like, hey, let's see how many times I can lap them. So yeah. But
All right.
so far so good. I might be able to crush them. Oh, there you go. There's your
There
guy
he is.
with the sneer and everything. Nice.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we're all wrapped up here. You want to play us out?
Play us
Play me
out.
and Sweetums out.
Yeah, definitely. Word to the Sweetums.
You can't beat them, Sweetums.
Thanks for listening to Earl and the Idiot. We hope you learned something you can take action on this week. For more information or to contact the show, visit earlandtheidiot.com. And until next time, remember what Shakespeare said. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool.
That's right, everybody. Remember what Led Zeppelin said.
There you go. And Sweetums. Sweetums will
And
eat you.
Sweetums. Led Zeppelin once said, "Do to do, mbop bop a do, yeah." And I quote. Thank you so much, Earl. Thank you, AI overlords. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. See you
Cheers,
next week.
Dan.